Hey everybody, welcome to the Pet Food Puzzle Guy, and this is another episode of Pitiful Pet Food Posts from social media. And this one's a good one. I think you'll enjoy it. And I just want to say, when it comes to these videos, because I'm going to be doing a lot of them, I can tell. Um, I am in no way making fun of anyone or trying to mock them or trying to ridicule them. The whole purpose of these types of videos is for you to understand. If you're somebody like me that's really involved in all this and you're just concerned, um, the whole idea of these videos is really to show you this is what's going on in social media. This is how manipulation occurs. This is how people get influenced by people that have no credentials. This is how bad information gets spread. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of these, just to illustrate that as a consumer, as a pet parent, as a pet guardian, as some people like to call it, which I think is a great way to look at it. Um, we need to be aware of what's really going on so that we don't become a victim of it. So it's the only reason I do these is, again, it's not to make fun of anyone. So let's go ahead and jump into this one, see what you guys think. Okay, so let me go ahead and read this. This was the original post that was put on this Facebook group. My 10-year-old Khotan, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. It's a breed from Madagascar, and it's kind of like a little bit of an oversized Bichon, pretty much. Really cute, adorable dog. But her dog has experienced bladder stones twice. So once is one thing. Twice, you know that this dog is at a more high risk for stones. Since then, she has been on a vet prescribed diet, and in parentheses, Hills CD slash metabolic. So this is one of those diets from Hills that is both a metabolic diet for weight loss and also CD for urinary stones. So it's a combination diet, and has not had a recurrence. So that's important to know. I didn't know how long have they been on the diet without having a recurrence. I did eventually find out, but for right now, this is all we know, right? We don't know. I recently learned of Farmina Vet Life urinary food and want to switch her to this. Why? Because it appears to be a healthier alternative to the Hills. Now, Farmina, I have talked about Farmina a lot. I've done reviews on different Farmina diets. I'm very impressed with Farmina. I haven't looked at this one in particular, but I would say that knowing what I know, I would trust that they know how to make a urinary diet. Okay, their marketing, I could understand why this woman here would see it as healthier because they use a lot of attractive ingredients, unique ingredients. They stay away from the industry standard ingredients. So it's a much more attractive, the website's very attractive. So initially, I'm just thinking, yeah, it just looked more attractive. She correlates that as being healthier. She's not looking at nutrient levels or anything like that, just what she's reading. That's, of course, dangerous for all of us when we just go to the internet and read, especially from one company, about how wonderful their product is, because you never know. In this case, again, I would personally say, from what I've seen from Farmina, it's a good product, but there's plenty of products saying really good things like that with attractive ingredients that are not good at all, and it's very hard for the untrained eye to pick that up. But anyway, so I don't want to go too far into, she looked at the website. It looks like it's healthier than Hills. The Framina brand is AFCO approved and does not require and does require a vet prescription. So AFCO approved means nothing when I'm looking at a urinary diet. Okay, AFCO is just the vague uh, ranges for a normal healthy dog. Here, if I'm talking about a dog with urinary issues, especially occurring twice, AFCO is out the window. I am now looking at specialized nutrition, therapeutic nutrition, and again, I could see where Farmina could do that based on what I've learned of their company, and of course, Hills can as well. So the AFCO approval, for those of you ever looking for a therapeutic option, AFCO means nothing. As a matter of fact, there's many times it won't meet AFCO because of certain restrictions or certain things in the diet addressing the disease that AFCO does not address. So we don't care about AFCO here. I took nutritional documentation to the vet to discuss changing her food, but they refuse to prescribe it because they explain, number one, they don't know anything about it. Let me go on. Number two, designer dog foods are not good. And three, it's too expensive. They wouldn't even look at the information. Has anyone used this food? How did you get your vet to prescribe it for you? I've checked with two vets that have treated my dog, and neither will prescribe. I'm not surprised. So let's go back to their reasoning. Okay, I'm not here to defend veterinarians, but I'm here to maybe explain their thinking. Okay, because I worked with veterinarians for over 3 decades. I know how they think, the majority. So they don't know anything about it. Veterinarians are very reluctant to recommend something that's going to affect the health of your pet that they don't really know well. And if they don't know it well, but the other colleagues in the practice know it well, they've seen proven results within their clinic, not just in research, but within their clinic, they are much more apt to recommend those items, whether it's procedures, whether it's services, whether it's products, than recommending something they know nothing of. That's a good thing. You really want a veterinarian that's going to err on the side of caution and say, hey, um, I don't know a lot about this, but I know the diet that he recommended, or she, the Hills CD Metabolic, obviously they trusted that, probably had seen many good results with it. It's been around for a couple of years now. So that's why they're reluctant to recommend something that they don't have total confidence in. I love that in my veterinarian. I don't want my veterinarian experimenting on stuff just because he heard it from the sales rep or from the website, and now my dog gets to be the guinea pig. I don't like that at all. So that's number one. Okay, and the next one is designer foods are not good. And now this is a bias, I guess you could say, that's developed by veterinarians' experience of seeing plenty of pet foods come out with blueberries and attractive ingredients and good verbiage, species appropriate and air dried and all this other stuff. And veterinarians that look into it, they see it's all marketing and has nothing to do with nutrition. And again, they're not familiar with it either. So that all falls under designer foods. And you'll hear them called all kinds of boutique diets, stuff like that. And veterinarians have very much have a distrust toward the nutritional adequacy of these diets for good reason, because most of them are pretty awful. They look good, but they're not. Farmina is kind of one of those unique products where, again, if you look at their website, it does look like a boutique company. Lots of exotic ingredients, beautiful pictures, all this other stuff. They talk about dogs being carnivores, which really is not true. That's not accurate. I have a video that you could watch where Dr. Ray goes through that. It's an awesome video. Are dogs carnivores? You really should check it out on my channel. Best at presentation as to why they're not carnivores. And Dr. Ray even mentions she's discussing this because of Farmina's marketing. But bottom line, and Dr. Ray agrees with me, when you look at their nutrient profiles, the nutrients they're delivering in their diets, they're really exceptional. So that's why I could see a veterinarian looking at Farmina, not knowing them, and saying, "Oh, wait a minute, I've seen these kind of companies before." And they're misjudging Farmina, but hey, that's partly Farmina's fault because they do look like a boutique company with their marketing, because people aren't looking at their nutrient levels. So that's the other reason, which is totally valid. That was two. And number three, it's too expensive. I remember that it was pretty expensive. I don't know how it compares to the CD metabolic, but obviously this veterinarian thinks that it's too expensive. And again, probably he or she thinks it's too expensive because they're saying the value of it for what you're paying. I know what you're getting with the Hills prescription diet. I don't know what you're getting with this food. True, you could argue they should have looked at the documentation, the nutrient levels. I think Farmina provides all that. That would have impressed them. But again, not to defend the veterinarian, but they're going to go with what they trust and the products that have done really good results for them. It's human nature. And I think for a health professional, I think you vets out there watching this, chime in here, but I think that's the best way to go. I want you to be cautious and really knowledgeable and experienced with products. That's why I had the same as a Hills rep. When I walked in with a new diet, I had to fight the same skepticism. They wanted to see, well, let the other veterinarians use it, and when they're getting good results, then we will, that kind of thing. So it's just it's a valid concern that I think we need to give vets credit for, and not be saying anything bad about them. So what is the response? Here we go. This is social media. What's the response that this nice lady gets with her concerns about her pup? Here's one. Let's look at this one. We're talking about prescription diets, right? Um, this one, this person sent what a website or a link to drjudymorgan.com. Now, you all know what I think of Dr. Judy Morgan, and we know what she thinks of prescription diets. So we're talking about a prescription diet. If she was writing on this thread, she would tell this woman, which I've heard her say, and you guys have seen it in my videos, that's all crap, and she would never feed it in a million years. So here's a person, meaning well, saying, "Hey, go to Dr. Judy's website and read the article. Stones belong in your driveway, not in your pet." And I could only imagine the all natural concoctions and recipes and all that she will sell you so that you can manage your pet and definitely stay away from prescription diet. So that was another piece of help there. Here's another one. I encourage you to research the Obel formula free and clear from herbsoftheworld.com. It has helped save many pets' lives. Now, I don't know anything about this product, but just to be fair, let's just look at what it says, because I'm not against anything that works. This product will dissolve every type of crystal and stone, is 100% non-toxic, and is reasonably priced. You can feed real food, raw, gently cooked, or freeze-dried with the addition of the herbs, and that will allow you to avoid the horrors of Hills, Royal Canin, and Purina inferior products. And then there's a link for Herbs of the World. I am not here, trust me, I am not here to give you any informed decision or opinion on herbs and all the other stuff. But notice how the person that was into these herbs, that thinks this is so great, says what? Do this so that it allows you to avoid the horrors of Hills, Royal Canin, and Purina inferior products. This is the attitude that social media is and Dr. Morgan, Dr. Becker, all these people out there, how bad these therapeutic diets are. Here's this woman that's using it. It's working, but this is the fear mongering and this is the guilt that when you go to social media, you can't help but think this can't be right. Now, I'm going to tell you, little spoiler alert here. I did talk to her. I don't normally respond. This time I did. She was very nice. It's been 5 or 6 years. This dog has been on CD or CD CD, yeah, metabolic because of weight gain. It's been 5 or 6 years since she's had a stone. That's what you call success. I mean, I the product is doing just what it's supposed to do, which is why that veterinarian recommended it, because he or she trusted it, because we've seen it work in thousands of other animals, has all the research behind it. That's why the vet said, I'd rather you stick with this diet. It's working. Why would you switch to this one just because of pretty pictures and an intriguing website? That's what the vet, I'm sure didn't say that. I'm telling you, this is what the vet was thinking. Okay. So that's just amazing to me. 5 or 6 years, but yet she's looking for options. Why? Because social media has convinced her this diet isn't right. And here's another person to tell her, what are you kidding? You're feeding Hills? That's just horrible. That's horrible. You would feed that diet. You have to wonder, where did that person come up with that attitude? You know where it came from. These get interesting here. Here's a meme that somebody put on there. Misleading word of the day on processed pet food: prescription diet. This food contains no medicine or drug and doesn't require prescription to be able to buy it. And this is from Holistic Vet, a group out there. So somebody put this meme on there. They're wrong. Well, they're right and they're wrong. They're right. There are no drugs or medications in therapeutic diets. But guess what? You do need a prescription to get one. So you may not like it, but that's just the way it is. And if you want Farmina's, you need one too. And Farmina doesn't use the word prescription diet, but I guess that makes it okay then. But yeah, so that's somebody trying to help out this woman who has had 5 or 6 years of success with a therapeutic diet. But let's send her this meme and show her how misled she is. Here's another one, and this is somebody trying to be helpful. Diet additions to increase urine pH, oxalates. Now, this woman has not told us whether it's struvite or calcium oxalates or purine or what type of stones. So this, again, this is the limitation of social media, that we shouldn't play veterinarian or nutritionist because we really a lot of times don't have all the information. So this goes through and gives you all these different plants and all this stuff that's going to increase urine pH, for acidic on the top and then alkaline on the bottom. And that's very true. And you want a very careful balance. The point is, it's very specific. There's a science to it. So I guess the person here is thinking, well, if it's a calcium oxalate, feed these vegetables. If it's a struvite, feed these. The problem is, again, how much? I mean, just because I'm going to feed some of these, one, how much to actually make a difference? What about the rest of the diet? I don't know what the urine pH is. So again, it's just the blind leading the blind, where here's a diet that has all that done for you by top board certified nutritionists and chemists and proven success. Again, I go back to that veterinarian saying, I want you to do this because I know I can trust this. But no, let's just do this. And if you look at the bottom there, I can't read it, but it's from a company, naturally healthy pets. So there you go. So don't listen to your veterinarian, don't listen to nutrition science. We're going to do things naturally. So there you go. Oh, so frustrating. But here's the best now. For urinary stones, you can feed a raw or gently cooked diet. So your dog or cat has urinary stones, just feed them a raw or gently cooked diet. And that is somehow magically, I guess, because of the moisture, that is just going to make things better. Now, this person knows a little bit. Do you know if they are oxalate, struvite, or cysteine? I don't think that's how you spell cysteine, but that's okay. There's a few other types of stones. So here's somebody that has a little bit of information. What do they always say? A little bit of information is always deadly because you don't really have the whole picture, but a little bit of information and you got this confident opinion that could definitely be wrong. So she asked what type of stone, which the woman did not say. You do not need a prescription diet. There is nothing in it that makes it a prescription diet. It's a marketing scam, just like the last person that said it. It's just a scam. The last 5 or 6 years, that good money you've been spending on that CD multi, I keep wanting to say CD multicare, CD metabolic, just a scam. You're just been lucky that your dog hasn't had any more stones. Has nothing to do with that diet, nothing to do with the mineral restriction, the urine pH, everything else in it, the millions of dollars spent in research to come up with that diet. Your vet is just part of the scam, and it. This is how these people think. Why? Because social media has trained them, but yet the masses are just sucking up all this garbage from these celebrities out there, and this is the result. That's why I show these pitiful posts. This is the result. This is what we're all fighting against. There is nothing in it that makes it a prescription diet. It's just a marketing scam, just like Sam the retailer over in England says in both his stores. Oh, all that research, that's just marketing. There's no truth to it. What's interesting, the woman, before I spoke with her, she actually responded back to that statement. This is what she said, and this is what really broke my heart. And I decided I had to write to her. Yes, this special food is definitely a scam. I've never liked it. It's kind of interesting. Did she like the fact that her dog was healthy and didn't have any more stones for 5 or 6 years? Did she like that part? But what did she not like? You know what she didn't like? She didn't like the ingredient panel because it didn't match up to the expectation that she was taught or manipulated by the social media celebrities. That's why Farmina was looking good. I have discussed making a special diet for her and asked how I can do that or what resource can guide me in making the diet with proper proportions that will discourage the formation of stones. No help at all from the vet pros. Why would the vet pros not want to help her? You guys all know, if you watch my channel, you know why. Because the minute they say, here's a good recipe, we know the last video we just did, somebody who's a big proponent, famous proponent of do-it-yourself diets and homemade and everything else, he actually in a presentation said that in one study, up to 90% of the people that were doing at-home cooking, whether it was raw or cooked, 90% of them had deficiencies in the diet because they weren't doing it right. So she's going to give up, again, that diet proven that's been working great for her dog, and she's going to try to give me a resource, something to guide me so I can figure out how much to feed of the correct proportions. And I got to make sure that I do this right so that I could discourage the formation of stones. Good luck. Good luck. You're probably going to fail. This is amazing that she's agreeing with this person, this diet that has worked so well for her. It's just marketing scam. And why? We just have to assume because she looked at the ingredient panel, she's listening to social media, and there you go. And that's why Farmina looked so good to her. So it's so sad. My vet backed right off the topic of canine nutrition once I said the words Karen Becker. Yeah, I wonder why. Now, those of you that are fans of Dr. Becker, and I've been in a conversation with Zeb over Dr. Becker, that I misrepresent her and all that. This is what I was telling you. Zeb, I hope you do get to see this. I think Heather's your real name, but I'm not sure. But do you see it's the results. Dr. Becker teaches and writes a book and does all this other stuff. And the result, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fact that people think prescription diet's garbage because of her, because of Dr. Morgan, because of Rodney. This is the result. I'm not making it up. Okay, I've watched the videos. I hear what she says. I'm not going to spend the time to read her book, but this is a result. And you see this all the time. And why did the vet not want to discuss Karen Becker? Because the veterinarian knows Dr. Becker knows nothing about nutrition. It's all pseudoscience. It's all make believe. It's all just fluff. So a good veterinarian doesn't want to have anything to do with that. They want real science. They want evidence-based research, not just feel-good, holistic mumbo jumbo. So anyway, I just want to point that out because just had this conversation. And that's what you're going to get. Most veterinarians that know anything about Dr. Becker are going to say right away, hey, I'm not going to have a discussion if that's what you want to talk about. Sorry, I can talk science, but I'm not going to talk pseudoscience. Home feeding is cheaper, healthier, and I just do some crock pot cooking, about 15 minutes of prep time and packaging for freezer, 20 minutes on Saturday mornings. So she cooks all of the food herself. This is the sad part. My little guy is 16 with the start of stage 3 chronic kidney disease. So 16-year-old dog, stage 3 kidney disease, and she's just going to cook at home. What's her thinking now? She could go to a professionally made by top nutritionists, board certified nutritionists, not the fake ones, a diet that is proven in tens of thousands of renal cases, but no, her kitchen's good enough. What's she going to do? I avoid anything with phosphorus. Okay, well, phosphorus is in a lot of stuff. How do you know what you're giving, how much phosphorus is in it? She's right. Phosphorus is detrimental for sure and needs to be restricted. But she's going to avoid anything with phosphorus and give him a daily diet of no more than a third protein. So whatever it is she's going to give, a third of it's going to be protein. My head is ready to explode here. Old dogs don't need a lot of protein, unlike young dogs, and it's harder to digest and on the kidneys than carbs. Okay, that's true. I could go along with that. Carb sources are all organic, so she uses nothing but organic barley, millet, etc. Lots of approved veggies and fruits. Do we know the mineral content that she's giving, the vitamin mineral content in those ingredients? We have absolutely no idea. When I'm really busy, I cheat using Dr. Harvey's prepared food, to which you just add protein. Again, how much protein? Again, this is just breaking my heart here. I grind it before using because it has eggshells. Great calcium source, but too big for my little guy. So let's add calcium while we're restricting phosphorus. Now we're probably going to end up with some phosphorus or calcium imbalance and deficiency of one or the other, because the ratio of those is important in the diet. That's why you have nutritionists and chemists. But no, this nice lady is just going to do it for her little Yorkie and do it all herself and use Dr. Harvey's when she's too busy. I never feed my Yorkie beef. Okay, well, beef will have phosphorus in it, along with any other meat. This breed can't tolerate it. We could have the Yorkie lady. You could tell me whether that's true or not, right? I have no idea. Um, I discovered this after tons of research as to why his stools were bloody with clots. I hope it helps someone and their precious puppy. Now, it may sound like I'm making fun of this lady. I'm assuming it's a lady. Um, no, this breaks my heart, because this is what social media has produced. Instead of this woman going, she knows her little guy, 16 years old, is in stage 3 kidney failure. She didn't figure that out in her kitchen. Her veterinarian told her that. Instead of her trusting her veterinarian, putting that dog on KD, doing all the other things that science provides. No, social media has taught her, all the social media celebrities, and I'm not going to rattle off their names again because we all know who they are, but all natural, holistic, get back to nature, species appropriate, on and on and on. All it's doing is harming animals. It's breaking people's hearts because they're going to lose their animals sooner. And just like this lady, that little Yorkie of hers is doomed. He's doomed. Stage 3, stage 4 is right around the corner, thanks to social media teaching her how to concoct potions at home to save her little Yorkie. It just makes me nuts when the best brilliant minds in canine and feline nutrition have spent millions of dollars, years of research, and produced diets. The diets work. Please, those of you that with your silly, it's all a, you're going to tell us later how it's all a scam. How do these diets work so well if they're so garbage? How do they work so well? Dr. Morgan, you would never feed in a million years to your animal because they're crap. Why do they work? It's just placebo. It's just the vets caught up in the scam, the pet owners caught up in the scam, and amazingly, even the dog or cat that doesn't know how to speak English, doesn't know anything about placebos, blood values normalize, diabetes goes into remission, the stones dissolve. It's all placebo. It's all just marketing, right? Makes me nuts. The whole reason for this video is to show, here's someone that obviously trusted their vet. They've been with this vet for 5 or 6 years because they've been on the diet that long. The diet has proven to work that well, and look at the power of social media. That, listening to the Dr. Beckers, and I'm sorry, I use the same names. There's somebody, Zeb, we've been talking a little bit. You don't like me bad mouthing Dr. Becker, and I'm not bad mouthing Dr. Becker. All I'm saying is this is the result that you get from people that are listening to Dr. Becker and Dr. Morgan and a few of the other celebrities out there. They're getting bad information. If you want to give alternate information, that's great, but bad information. Here's this dog, most likely, I don't know, this woman will have to decide what she's going to do, but I'm pretty sure if she goes off that diet, there's going to be more struvite, and there actually are struvite stones. But maybe because of his age, we won't see them now, but or her. But it's just a shame that all that good science and all that vet recommendation is muddied down just because of social media. So don't buy into it, okay? And just listen to your veterinarian, and you will be much better off, and your pet will be healthier. Take care.